Hello everyone, it's Sean from TaekwondoSean.com, and today we're going to be covering the front push kick, the Mireo. So don't let the fact that it's one of the more basic kicks in Taekwondo fool you. This kick is very useful. Check it out. So front push kick, Mireo is not as uncommon as you might think. The firefighters and use it to break down doors when they're trying to get in or out of a building. When law enforcement has to break down the door, the SWAT team has to break in or break out of a building. Again, they got to use the front push kick to break down the door. There's also self-defense applications. Someone's coming towards me. I can bring my leg up and use my front push kick to knock them down or knock them away so I can escape safely. And then there's also Taekwondo sparring, Taekwondo Chagi, where it doesn't give me any points. When I land a front push kick, I still get 0 points, but I've cut their momentum. So if they're charging in and I use my front push kick, then I've cut their momentum, I've stopped their attack, they're off balance maybe, and that creates an opening for me to charge in. So the front push kick is pretty useful in kind of all aspects in Taekwondo. So Taekwondo in, like us, that's a Taekwondo practitioner, we need to know how to use the front push kick properly. Now there's two exercises that I really like to help warm up our front push kick. They're called opening the gate and closing the gate is the first one. So let me show you what I mean. So opening the gate is when I cover my body with my front leg, I grab it with my same arm, and then I open the gate, and then I pull it slightly more than my leg would have gone on its own, but I don't want to injure myself, so I want to make sure it's just a nice stretch and not pain. And then I open the gate on the other side, open my gate on my other side, trying to pull slightly more than my usual range of motion, and that's going to help me warm up to do some good front push kicks. Now once I feel good about opening the gate, now I got to close the gate. So I have my gate open already, and I'm going to take it and close it. Now we're doing the outside of the hip flexors here. So this will be nice when I do my front push kick. Good, close the gate a couple of times. I like to do 10 times each side, but I'll leave that up to you guys. The other exercise that I like to warm up for my front push kick is leg swings. So because this is a forward direction kick, not a front turning kick or a side kick, it's all in front of us, we want to make sure that our legs forward and backwards are all warmed up. So we can use something like a chair. Now from here, I'm going to grab my support and I'm going to swing my leg in front of me and behind me, in front of me and behind me. Good. Now each time, I want to go slightly higher, and I'll do the other side. Each time, slightly higher. And there you go. Maybe 10 times each side should be perfect. All right, so let's start the front push kick on the ground. So what we want to do is you want to lean back and bring your knee in as much as you can, showing the target, the bottom of your foot. And then from here, you extend your leg. Bring it back, extend your leg. Focusing on squeezing your butt as you extend the leg to engage the biggest muscle in your body and making sure that you're pushing forward with all your might. Make sure your toes are up and curled back so they don't get caught by accident. That would not be nice. Both sides, push kick. Good. Now that we're ready to stand up, we can use our chair to support us as we practice the front push kick at first, so we can isolate the movement, and then we can take it away and try to work on our balance. All right, so I'm going to grab my chair, I'm going to bring my knee up, close to my chest as I can, pointing my toes up, showing my opponent the bottom of my foot, and then from here, I extend my leg as I push off my back leg and my body weight going forward, and then at the very end, just before I hit the ground, I pull my leg back slightly and land safely. So from here, bring my knee up. Aya! 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 Then the other side. Aya! 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 All right. And last but not least, while I'm standing without any kind of assistance, now I'm going to perform the front push kick. I want to make sure I bend my knee, my supporting leg, I pivot it slightly, and I use it to create more power in my front push kick. Aya! 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 One more tip for getting more power, more speed in the front push kick is the more you bend this knee, almost to the point where it can't bend that far on its own. Look how my leg tries to pop out almost on its own, right? So the more you squeeze the leg here, the further from the target this foot's gonna be, and the longer time you have to generate speed and power and momentum. So bend your knees as much as you can, along with keeping this leg bent so you can spring, and you're gonna have a pretty strong front push kick. Now on that note, let's go over 2 stretches which I think are going to help with the range of motion and also the muscles that are involved in the front push kick or the Mireo-Chagi. So the first thing we're going to do is called the hip flexion stretch. So I'm going to bring my knee up, toes up, because that's how the front push kick is going to look. And then I grab my knee and I pull it as close to my body as I can. I can even hug it if I want. And I squeeze it as much as I can. I should feel a nice stretch in here. My hip flexors. Good. Hold it. And then bring it down. Other side, same thing. It's also a good way to test your balance. Can you guys stand without hopping around in this position? Because if you can, then there's a good chance you can perform the kick well. Squeeze as much as you can. There you go. So do that 10 seconds each side, as many times as you think is necessary until the hips are starting to feel nice and smooth and warm. Another good stretch that I like is called the lunge leans. So I'm going to get into my lunge position here, and then I'm going to actually extend my back leg just a little bit more than my front leg, and then I'm going to lean forward. Now in doing so, I'm really stretching out my quad, my hip flexors. So from here, it's going to really help me. It's also the movement of the kick. I'm bringing my knee close to my chest here. Now, in some cases, you can also do the sprinter stretch, which is kind of a variation. So you can put your hands on the ground and lift your back leg up. And it's actually bringing your knee to your chest, which is how the kick is supposed to be. And then you can stretch from here. And then the other side, same thing. So you go down on one knee, back leg slightly more open than the front, and then lean forward. So this is the lunge lean. And then from here, you can also do the sprinter's pose. Touching the knee to the chest. Good, I find both are good, so you can choose whichever one works best for you. All right, so now that we got that mushy-gushy stuff out of the way, it's time to build some muscle. So there's 2 exercises that I really like to help build up the strength in my front push kick. Now, a squat engages your gluteus maximus, along with the quads and everything, and that's what I use when I do my front push kick. So let's try a squat, and then a front push kick. And then from here, now I'm leaning backwards in this one. When you're doing the actual front push kick or Mireo-Chagi, you want your upper body and your weight to go forward into the kick, but for the sake of this exercise, I'm trying to keep my balance when I do the push kick, so I'm actually gonna lean back slightly as I do it. So from here, push kick, come back. Push kick, come back. Push kick. So again, from the front, 2, squat, push kick, squat, push kick, squat, push kick, just like that. The second exercise would be the lunge into front push kick. Now again, I'm engaging all these strong leg muscles which are gonna help me with my front push kick. And so I'm gonna come here, I'm gonna explode off my front leg and front push kick. And come back down, explode off this leg, come back down. Set myself up well. Don't try to rush this because there's nothing like wrecking your knees on a lunge. So from here, set myself up well, get ready. Then the other side, same thing. Set up my lunge properly. Make sure both knees are 90 degrees. And from here, explode, and come back down. Explode, and come back down. So whether it's a practical, real-life situation where I got to break down a door, knock over an obstacle, or knock an attacker away, someone who's trying to hurt me, or whether it's in sparring to cut my opponent's attacks to stop their momentum so I can help an opening to create my charge, front push kick, Mireo-Chagi, is a very useful kick in Taekwondo, so don't let the fact that it's basic fool you into not using it as much. All right? So practice hard, practice well, and we'll see you guys on the mats.